come to our last hour of our 48-hour live stream, and what an adventure it has been so far. It's fitting that for one of our final segments, we've got a DevOps State of the Nation panel. Please welcome some esteemed guests. We've got best-selling author Dean Kim. We have Steve Thair, founder of DevOps Group, and April Edwards, a senior software engineer here at Microsoft, to talk about DevOps. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us, Steve.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's just great to just hang out and just talk to some great people about DevOps, which I know all of us are super passionate about.
Absolutely.
So let's get started. Dean, I have a confession to make. My line manager at Microsoft is Emily Freeman, right? And so she wrote the book. She wrote the book DevOps for Dummies. So I was telling Emily, I'm going to be chatting to Dean at Build, and obviously that's like the second best DevOps book ever. When I was talking to Emily, but I was just trying to keep her happy, So I think she's probably asleep now or something because she's been doing all these overnight sessions. So I can admit here that yours is the best DevOps book ever, and hopefully Emily never watches this playback, right? But no, I really want to pick up on that kind of point. Obviously, the Phoenix project, which people will watching this will know of, and more recently in November, the Unicorn project, your latest book, both fantastic novels about that kind of explain DevOps in a really interesting and different way, and I love that. But I want to kind of start off this discussion to Eugene about what's different, right? Phoenix project was 2013. We're now fast forward 7 years to 2020. What's changed in those 7 years that you found?
By the way, I thanks for the kind words, and I actually love Emily Freeman's book. I mean, it's a book breathtaking in scope. So I agree with you that what I find so rewarding is that the DevOps community had sort of embraced the Phoenix project back in 2013 as one of the banners for the movement, and I think many people use that book to sort of get other people on board. I think one of the things that's changed is that back in 2013. I think DevOps was primarily the domain of the tech giants, the Facebooks, Amazon, Netflix, Googles, Microsofts. But what I found so rewarding and so amazing to study is that now in 2020, DevOps is being used by large, complex organizations that have been around for decades or even centuries, across every industry vertical, government agencies, not-for-profits, using it to survive and thrive in the market. So those the practices that were really pioneered by the tech giants and are being used, across every type of organization, impacting tens of millions of technologists. And so that's really been my area of passion for the last 7 years, is studying this community. I've been running a conference called the DevOps Enterprise Summit, and it is amazing to see these courageous technology leaders leading these rebellions against an ancient, powerful order that's quite happy to keep working the same ways that we've been working for decades. And I think the other thing that I find exciting is that, at least in the beginning, say 2010, I think the most innovation was coming from the infrastructure community, because I think that's where the most injustice was. Developers sort of working in a way that was actually at the operations expense. And yet in 2020, here at Microsoft Build, that is all about developers, the amount of innovation coming from development is amazing, on par with what we're seeing in infrastructure. And, I'll just make the claim that there's never been a better time to be a developer. And holy cow, code spaces. It's just a game changer. So it's that's my feeling looking back 10 years.
Yeah, that's great, Gene. And I agree. It seems like it's never been a better time to be a developer. And Steve, I know that you work with a whole bunch of organizations as well for a long time in this space, right? Your company name has got the word DevOps in it, right? So this is your bread and butter. So what about you over the last 7 to 10 years of this kind of movement? How have you found that change?
Yeah, I mean, so we started DevOps Group 8 years ago. So our growth as a company has been very much along the lines of the growth of the DevOps movement. I think Gene's talking about the shift into enterprise and mainstream, but I'd like to draw that's also been paralleled with a shift towards the cloud. Back when this was starting, cloud was the innovators and the early adopters, and I really think sort of 2019 and now into 2020, cloud has gone mainstream. It's now early majority if you think about the adoption diffusion curve. And along with the cloud becoming mainstream, DevOps has sort of like been dragged along with it, because people have looked at the way and say, hey, this is a great opportunity to reset, how we do cloud operations, how we manage our infrastructure, how we get products to market, how do we accelerate all of that delivery. So I think that's, there's this symbiotic relationship between DevOps and cloud that I think is really been what I've seen over the last couple of years.
Yeah, nice. That's interesting, because I kind of came into DevOps in a cloud world, right? About kind of 2014 when I started really working in the cloud, and I've only really known it as that. But it's interesting to get your take on kind of pre-cloud, and I think I'm still sometimes living a bit of a bubble that a lot of people still are pre-cloud, right? So
more than you would think, yes.
Yeah. So in April, I know you work with a number of customers here at Microsoft and help them build, implement DevOps in their organizations. April, how do you find, how do you see things have changed in recent years?
I think Steve and Jean have absolutely highlighted a lot of the changes we've seen. So I used to work with organizations on premise in their data centers, and they have always done something the same way repeatedly for years. So it's been a shift when we go to the cloud. Let's try something new. Let's start automating. Let's try this new cloud thing, and how do we leverage the platform? So DevOps becomes the kind of the center of every implementation we do, from the tooling to the automation piece. So we've seen a shift in organizations, their mentality. How do we be more competitive in the market? And they're understanding from an organizational point of view, if we don't do it, our competitors will. And that's kind of been the biggest change we've seen, is that's been the driver. Our competitors are doing it. They're outdoing us in the market. How do we do that? And the shift to cloud, where cloud is almost cloud first in a lot of organizations, they think cloud first. When they start then thinking, how do we do that? DevOps is always in that conversation, whether they're doing kind of a lift and shift or a whole cloud transformation. And as Steve said, it's a great time to reset your infrastructure and your development teams and enable them to do more with the cloud.
Yeah, that's great. I think, and enterprise adopting DevOps and the business kind of aspect of that as well, which you didn't really mention, and we're here at a developer conference, but I think the increase in feature velocity and helping businesses move forward and getting competitive advantage by being able to ship features quicker is a huge one. On that note, Steve, I've maybe got a question for you about that kind of particularly. Often when I speak to people about DevOps, one thing that gets mentioned is about leadership buy-in, right? And for years we've been saying, right, it's a top-down movement. You must get buy-in from leadership in order to implement DevOps properly. What's your take on that? Has that changed? Is that still a thing? And if it is, how do people get that buy-in? So
I'll sort of answer that in three points, I think. So first of all, I would challenge everybody who's listening to this panel session, this broadcast as part of Build. Don't wait for your manager or your CIO or your CTO to kick off a DevOps transformation. Inside your team or your daily work, you can start using Terraform, you can start using Puppet, you can start using ARM templates, PowerShell DSC, you can start doing value stream mapping, you can do event storming, you can start working in a DevOps way and adopting DevOps patterns and practices inside your team. But then the senior management comes in, so you've kicked off this grassroots. The grassroots are not going to grow without a little bit of senior management sunshine. Senior managers have to pick up on this grassroots activity, shine a bright sunshine just like your garden and make it grow. You cannot break outside of a silo just in one team. You literally don't have the remit. You don't have the remit to create cross-functional teams. You don't have the remit to invest large amounts of money in these kind of projects. And that's where the top-down comes in. So your senior management will enable you to accelerate and amplify this stuff. But I think, I think one key thing, if you're going to talk to your senior manager to say, hey, I want you to shine a bit of the sunshine on our grassroots, is talk to them about business benefits. Talk to them about the outcomes for your customer. If you try and pitch somebody and you use, mean time to recover and development velocity, or development velocity you might get away with, but, development frequency, it's not going to resonate if you're not talking about business outcomes and business speak. And COVID-19 has handed you the most best possible thing, because we are seeing companies that have been able to get new services, to adapt their services. The companies who are iterating faster are the companies who are responding and succeeding in their response to the pandemic, and those are the companies that will accelerate out of the current lockdown. So there's never been a better time to make the case for developer velocity than right now.
Nice. I love that about shining. It just made me laugh when you mentioned the shining on my grassroots thing. It's so hot here in the UK right now, and you know as well. And I'm thinking the sun's shining through my window, but you're right about just just getting getting that buy-in eventually to get that wider adoption. But now sounds like a great time. We've actually had some interesting chats today with certain people. Earlier we spoke to Public Health, the team behind Public Health England here in Microsoft, about how they've moved so much faster than they ever would have, and built these scalable solutions which would never have been built before, and in a way, in a quicker way that they could have ever, which is hopefully paving a way for some of these some wider adoption of these practices. And April, how about yourself?
I think that's.
Oh, sorry, Steve, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think Satya said it himself in the keynote. 2 years of digital transformation in the last 2 months. That's the reality.
Yeah, it's phenomenal, really, how people have reacted to this change in our lives right now. And April, I was just going to ask you on this same kind of topic around buy-in. I know you talk a lot about the tooling aspect of DevOps, and I'm just interested around this. Management buy-in obviously comes with giving developers or ops people and their teams autonomy, which I spoke about. How have you seen the tooling adapt to enabling managers to make that core senior leadership a little bit easier?
Exactly. So as Steve mentioned it, we need to be able to grow these grassroots projects that developers are driving with, and developers are leading these changes. A lot of the tooling we have can deliver these metrics. So when DevOps first kind of became a buzzword and everyone wants to do DevOps, it was kind of almost this theory, but now we have hard statistical numbers that we can deliver to these management teams and say, actually, we're doing this, and this is the value we're driving to our customers. This is the value we're driving to these organizations. And here at Microsoft, we have a ton of tools that enable every developer with any language. So we have tools like Azure DevOps, which literally allows you to develop any type of code that you want to bring to the cloud and develop and deploy that to any platform, whether it be on-premise or any other cloud provider, including Azure. We've acquired GitHub, a great code source repository. Most people have heard of that and are well aware of that acquisition. So we want to enable every developer in organizations, but then we can take our tooling and put metrics behind it and go to these senior management teams and say, look, this is what we've delivered in a week. This is what we delivered in a few hours. And they can show that they can remediate issues in the in their infrastructure much faster than they used to. They can also mitigate against outages, things that might have been massive pain points in organizations. They can deliver against that, show that change, and bring that back to the senior management team.
Yeah, it's so true. And Gene, on the same tooling kind of comment to you, Gene, you mentioned code spaces earlier on with a big grin on your face. It's code spaces, how do you think that kind of changes things, or things move forward based on that in this, specifically in the DevOps space?
I think that is, for me, one of the most exciting things in the technology space is this elevation of the need for dev productivity. In fact, one of my favorite quotes that made it into the Unicorn Project was from Satya Nadella from, I understand, one of the town hall meetings, where he said, almost hearkening back to a famous Bill Gates memo from the security stand down, where Bill Gates said, if anyone has to choose between a feature or fixing a security defect, fix the security defect. I think that was in early 2000s, and that helped save the company when security really mattered. And the Satya Nadella quote was, if a developer ever has to choose between dev productivity or feature, choose the dev productivity, right? Because we're playing the forever game, and we're now using compounding interest to our favor as opposed to technical debt when it's very much working towards our detriment. And I think that kind of tone at the top is what we're seeing, is what I find so exciting in the DevOps enterprise community. And by the way, we tested this in the State of DevOps report in 2017, where we asked 5 questions around transformational leadership. And we asked 15 questions in 5 domains. One was vision. To what extent does your leadership understand the grandest goals of the organization? Intellectual stimulation. To what degree does the leader challenge basic assumptions of how we do work? Inspirational communication. To what degree can they create a coalition around them to create those team of teams that Stephen referred to? Maybe overcoming deep-seated senses of fear from functional silo leaders or people very happy working the same way, supportive leadership and personal recognition. And I think one of the surprising findings was that those organizations that had the lowest amount reported these transformational leadership behaviors were only half as likely to be high performers. So it just says that leadership does matter. And I think from the frontier of the DevOps enterprise community, the people driving this charge, this courageous charge to take on the ancient powerful orders, are typically third or fourth line managers. They're directors, senior directors that are close enough to technology, but also understand the business context to really create that coalition, to help grow these grassroots movements and get rewarded for it. Right, their teams are now heroes, helping advance the most important objectives for the organization.
Yeah, and it's funny. We interviewed Bola Roteby from an industry analyst this morning, and she said a similar thing around that. There's a theme here around like the business value and in adopting DevOps, and she said the same around developers. Right, there's a time for developers to stand up to the challenge, and just be technical, be super technical, but also you need to, in this day and age, be very aware of the business benefits of what you're pushing and what you're producing as well.
Absolutely. If I could just share a joke, there's a meme going around on Twitter, right? What C-level executive is who driving the digital transformation efforts? Is it the CEO, the CFO, the CIO, or is it COVID-19? Right? And I think it really does that this global pandemic is almost overnight, certainly within a month, right, has driven years worth of change, and I think that is. As some famous people said, including Dr. Deming, never waste a crisis. And so, like Stephen and April said, right, use this as an opportunity to show that there is a better way of working that allows us not only just survival, but to be able to thrive in this new age.
Yeah, and I think sorry.
Go ahead, April.
Sorry, Dean. I was going to say, Gene, you've hit the nail on the head. I mean, we've all been forced into a new way of working remotely, where customers say, well, we've always done it this way. We can't change, and we have we've constrained our development teams, and we see a lot of developers now working from home and using different tooling, and Microsoft offers a lot of those different tools that enables that. So, code spaces, VS Code Online, there's all sorts of great things we can do to enable developers to do their job from anywhere in the world. And so we're enabling them to do their job, whereas before, the business would have a reason and maybe hold back their teams a little bit. And now we're enabling our developers and our operational teams to embrace that and make these changes and help change the world in a face of crisis.
And just to go back to something that was in earlier in the conference, one of my favorite phrases that I've heard in years is came from the Code Spaces session where Ali, one of the directors of engineering at GitHub, said, one of her colleagues said, managing two versions of Python on a laptop shouldn't be a core competency. And it's just so deeply, right? Sometimes it has to be, right? And that's a shame, right? Because we're not using our best talents, right, for solving things that customers care about. Customers do not care that I can do Ruby gem management on my laptop and push it into production. Just so I find it so exciting, right, that we can take these sort of really frustrating activities and make them a thing of the past.
Absolutely.
But I think that's a really good theme there to come back to the first question you asked about what's changed. And very early on in the DevOps movement, we were hearing DevOps unicorn stories. It was all about this Uber person who could do code and do infrastructure and do cloud and do security and do this and do that. And there was this thing that you would hire DevOps ninjas and these DevOps unicorns who were full stack. And I actually think that story has matured. I think that story has matured because now we're talking a lot more about teams. We're talking a lot more about enabling teams. SRE has evolved to talk about platform SREs who are building the platforms that other teams then consume. And the metaphor has become much more about standing on the shoulders of giants, which I think is a really very, very positive change because it's inclusive. Let's not go hunting to try and hire a 10x full stack developer. Let's make every developer and every infrastructure person a 10x person by giving them the right working environment, giving them the psychological safety, giving them clear vision, clear goals, inspirational, transformational leadership, and all the tool chain things they do. And I think that's a fantastic story of how DevOps has evolved.
And I think the education aspect, maybe Gene, I think you're probably going to comment on. So I think the educational aspects around and the psychological safety side of things, I know is mentioned in your book, right? So maybe you can comment on that a little bit.
Yeah, I think this is where the need for leadership is so clear, right? Because and this is not to lionize the people at the top of the org chart, right? We know that leaders come in all come from everywhere in the organization, right? And they're not the people with the most number of letters before the vice president title, right? These are architects, technology leads. These are people who are at the frontier of creating value for our customers. But when it comes to culture and cultural norms, right, these are often, we need leaders on board, right? They model the behaviors, they reinforce the norms. So without that leadership at the top reinforcing the desired culture, it's so hard, right? As was shown in the State of DevOps report. And so, what I find so exciting is that that this kind of inversion that when you look at the tech giants, right, there's a mammoth investment in dev productivity. Microsoft repeatedly has 3,000 to 5,000 engineers just working on dev productivity. Google has over 1,500 engineers. So these are the best experts, right? These are the best boundary spanners. And then they'll put the next best developers on the back end APIs, and then maybe if you don't have that experience, then you work on the features. Where in most old school enterprise IT organizations, they put the best developers on the feature or the app because you can see that, right? That's what you can get funding for. The next best developers go to the backend APIs, and then you put the summer interns or the junior engineers, the people not good enough to work features, on dev productivity, like the build servers and so forth. And so, I think what we're seeing is, we're putting our best people on those things that make every engineering professional productive, and I think that is something that absolutely requires recognition and or among leadership to value that capability.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And I think we've been running a poll in the background, actually, folks. We've run a couple of polls actually, but one of them I wanted to highlight was we asked the audience where they were in their DevOps adoption journey, and I think it's just interesting to take. So 19% said they don't do DevOps today. 56% have said they're starting to adopt DevOps principles, and 25% have fully adopted DevOps. That means that 70, we're going to do maths on the spot here, 75%, that was really easy maths actually, 75% of our viewers here either don't do DevOps today or they're starting to adopt DevOps principles. Is that kind of where you're seeing it? Just a quick kind of round the room kind of thing. Is that kind of reflect your experience, Steve?
I wouldn't put it at 75%. I think it's the 50% who are doing some DevOps covers a very, very broad spectrum to get you there. I mean, we've worked in organizations where they say they're doing DevOps, and I ask about, well, have you spoken to ops yet? No, we haven't spoken to operations at all. Or they haven't really integrated with their product management capability or function inside the organization. So, there is no doubt that DevOps adoption there isn't a standardized, for a number of good reasons. There aren't really standardized ways of measuring where you are. I think a lot of people have tried, and obviously, Gene's something to do with the DevOps report, sort of covers some of those kind of areas, the DORA research. But yeah, I still think there is a long way to go. I mean, we still come up against organizations that are doing totally waterfall software development. And I kind of thought the waterfall versus, before I started this company 8 years ago, I thought the waterfall versus agile debate was dead, and that everybody was doing agile software development. And now 8-9 years later, no, there's plenty of people still doing waterfall out there. So it's so broad.
Yeah,
but we see it every day. We see it every day still. Absolutely.
Yeah, and there was a DevOps panel yesterday. Sorry, just to highlight on that point, Steve, is with our friends in Australia on the Australia show, and they were saying that they did a survey of some enterprise customers or a customer base, and 20% of them weren't using source control, right? And that was that kind of blew my mind. So yeah, really, really interesting insight. And sorry, Gene, you were about to comment on that.
In fact, here's some numbers I think would back up sort of these intuitions and feelings, right? I think to back up Stephen's suspicions. So we know that high performers, they're doing multiple deployments per day. They can go from code committed to through integration testing and deployment, so that customers are getting value in an hour or less. We know that they can, when things go wrong, fix issues in 1 hour or less. And this is orders of magnitude better than their non-high performing peers. And so, I think I feel like, of the population of 18 million developers, right, at best, right, you throw in the tech giants and the pioneers within the large complex organizations, we're over a million, right, maybe a couple million at best. And so that means, we're about, 10 to 15% of the way there, right? So on the Geoffrey Moore adoption curve, we're still much, somewhere between early majority or the innovators and early majority. And so late adopters is when the early majority does it because it's a competitive advantage. It's a way to win, advance their careers, and so forth. The late majority is they're doing it because to save their careers, right? So we're not there yet, and so I'm very optimistic. We got a long way to go, but I think all these things show that we're moving in the right direction.
Cool. And unfortunately, we don't have a huge amount of time left, but I want to kind of finish on a high on the with talking to all of you folks. So April, we'll start with you. I want to know what engineers are fantastic, right? And they all do these crazy, wacky, and wonderful things. I want to know what the best thing you've seen an organization or an individual or somebody doing it around DevOps recently.
I would say what we're seeing now is when we go into customers and they talk about DevOps, or they don't kind of really know where to start, they just pick up a technology, and it could be event-driven architecture. They've taken a whole system, broken it down, and said, oh yeah, we turned these into events instead of virtual machines. And we're seeing a lot with automation, infrastructure as code. So we can go into customers now, and very, very often I'll go sit with the customer on build with code with my customers, and they're already ready to automate, and we start doing that. We automate the entire infrastructure, and some customers again aren't really there yet. But as soon as my team goes in and we start building that with them, their minds are just absolutely blown, and that's a massive, massive step for them. But when you go into customers and they're starting to do event-driven architecture versus monolithic, applications running on virtual machines, that's the best thing we see, because it breaks it down and enables that developer enablement in that organization. And that's a great starting point on any project. When they've started to break that down, it makes it easier for us to deliver and really enable DevOps within the organization. So that's what we see a lot of. We're seeing a lot of it in AI and machine learning as well, and that seems to be a lot of the future for developers.
Love it. And Steve, how about you? What's the most exciting thing you've seen in 1 minute or less?
Well, 30 seconds to give Gene 30 seconds. I'm an IT pro by background. I'm an ops guy, and I'm really excited about things like Azure Arc. I'm super excited about the moving of the data center control plane into the cloud and bringing the power of ARM templates and all of the cloud-based control plane like you have in Azure, bringing all that power back into the data center and the edge, and making that ops experience be a cloud-first experience, regardless of where the resources you are managing. I think that's super exciting. I also think it's super exciting to the event-driven ops is definitely something that's taking off. Puppet Relay as an example, super exciting.
Yeah, love that. I agree with that completely. And quickly, Gene, in 30 seconds, what's the most exciting thing you've seen?
Oh, without doubt, I'll echo Stephen, to see operations and infrastructure teams within large, complex organizations really saying our customers are developers. These platform teams saying our goal is to elevate developer productivity so that we can win in the marketplace. That was once commonplace. That's commonplace in the tech giants, and now being increasingly commonplace in the largest, most complex organizations.
Love it. So thanks so much, guys. It's always good to catch up and hang out with all of you. A great conversation about all things DevOps. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And finally,